Hello guys, hi, I'm Ali Mohammad Zaidi, your core Java tutor and your friend also. In the last class, we have covered some topics. So what were those topics? We have covered about Java, and we have covered the terms which were used in the Java definition, like what is the high level language and what is the object orientation and what is the platform independent. And we have also discussed about the class and object. We have discussed about the association, in which there were two types of the association. One was composition and another one was aggregation. Okay, so till that we have covered. Now the today's topic is, what are the keywords? What are the keywords? So I'll just quickly clear this and I'll come to the topic keywords. So keywords are also said, we can also call them as reserved words. Keywords are also called as reserved words. Okay, so what are those keywords? Keywords are the like predefined words which has some predefined meanings in the Java programming language. So I'll give you the note for that. This is the point, you can note down it. Keywords are the predefined words which has some predefined meaning in Java. These are the keywords. Not only Java, in other programming language also you will find these keywords, and they should be in lowercase. Okay, they will not be in uppercase. They will start with lowercase, they will have lowercase, and they will end with lowercase. I'll show you what there is some list of keywords in the Java. I'll show you that. So these are the keywords. As you can see, they are starting with the lowercase and ending with the lowercase. Boolean, short, for, case, catch, final interface, protected this. So you need not to by heart these things, because when you will practice the programs, when you will start writing the code by yourself or program yourself, then you will get to know each and everything, because you cannot by heart these things. While practicing, you will get to know all these. Talking about the identifiers. So are we clear with the keywords? Keywords are the predefined words which has some predefined meaning in Java, and they should be in lowercase, and that there was a list of the keywords. And here also we can write examples of the keywords, few basic examples which each and everyone should know, like class, int, float, double, char, try, new, if, while, and for. We can't say and because there are so many. After that we can say etc. So you should know these basic keywords which are there. What are those? Identifiers. It may be a class name, it may be a variable name. Okay, so identifiers are the names which are used to describe any class or any variable. So we cannot give like whatever we wish to, because there are some rules to follow, and those are called identifier rules, and we have to follow that identifier rules. So what is the first rule? It should not have any space. It should not have any space. Example, I am giving a class and I will give some name here, like I am giving Ali, and I will give MD. So there is a space, which is wrong. I should not give like this. Rather, I should give like this. There should not be any space. And next one is, it should not start with digit. It should not start with digit. It should not start with digit, but can have a number in between or at end. It should not start with digit. I'll give you the example for that. Class. Now if I will give one Ali, then of course this is wrong, because it cannot start with digit. This is the rule. So what will be the correct thing here? This is correct, and even this one is also correct. It can have the number inside or at the end. Now next one is it should not contain special character except dollar and underscore. It should not contain, sorry, it should not contain any special character except what, this is the dollar and we have underscore. It should not contain any special characters except underscore and dollar. So now I will give you some examples here. Like we have class and we are giving some class name here. We can give the example for variables also. This will apply for both. Okay. So what is the example for this? I will give you like we have a star here and I am giving it. This is wrong. Okay. This is wrong. And hash ali, this is also wrong, or ali hash, that is also wrong. Like except dollar underscore, except dollar and underscore. See, here I'll tell you, you can start with the underscore. This is not incorrect, this is correct. If anyone asks you in interview or anywhere, like can you start the name, identify a name with underscore or dollar symbol, then you can say yes, we can start with underscore, we can end with underscore, we can have that underscore inside that, all will be correct. We can have that at end, we can have that inside. So this is the third rule. And the last one is it should not be a Java keyword. So we have discussed some Java keywords, so it should not be that. Okay, so like these are the Java keywords. We cannot give these names to any class or any variable or any array, whatever. Okay, so we cannot use these things there. Okay, now we are moving to the, like, we will be giving the class names whatever we wish to, or we will give like naming conventions will be different for each and every person, but there are some few good practices which everyone should follow. Okay, so what are those? So I'll discuss about those good practices, because good practices matters a lot to easily understand the program of any other programmer. Everyone is following those good practices, or we can also say naming convention for a class. We are giving the good practices. We are talking about the good practices and naming conventions for a class. So we will go with the first one. It should be in upper camel case. Okay, it should be in upper camel case. Okay, example, I'll give you class and I will give the name for the class as, see, like this. I'm gonna give my full name. See, like this. This is called upper camel case. If it was lower camel case, then we would have started with small a and everything will have gone wrong. So good practice. This is not like, you can give like this also, this one also, but this is the good practice. By using the upper camel case is the good practice. Now we are going to talk about another good practice, which is it should be a noun, not a verb. Okay, so example, if you are giving like running, eating, walking, these are not a good practice. You should always give a noun like food. You cannot say eating. That seems to be very odd. So that's why we should use nouns instead of verb. And the third good practice is singular, not plural. So it should be singular, not plural. Okay, it should be singular, not plural. For example, we can say cloth. And if you are giving clothes, that seems to be very odd. So it should be always singular. It should be singular. These are the some good practices which we have to follow. First one is it should be in upper camel case, and it should be a noun, not a verb, and it should be a singular, not plural. Now we will talk about the compilation process. Okay. So what we have discussed till now, we have discussed about keywords or reserved words, keywords, They have predefined meanings. We have discussed about identifiers, which has some rules to follow, and these are the some rules which you can follow. And we have some good practices which makes our program really good, and we should follow as a good programmer, as a good developer. We should follow these practices instead of using our own practices. Now we will talk about Java compilation. We will talk about Java compilation. So what is Java compilation? Java compilation is the process of compiling the program by using compiler. Compiler is a developmental tool to check the correctness of the program. So I'll show you the diagram that how does this work. I can give it. Okay, so this is the source code. Okay, for example, I have this is the source code which a programmer has written. What will be the extension for that? .java. .java will be the extension for that. Okay, after that, we what is gonna do once we have written the code? This is the program which has been written by a programmer. It will go to the compiler. Okay, as I have informed you. So what is a compiler? Compiler is a developmental tool which is used to check the correctness of the program. So what it will do, it will check the syntax of the program. It will check line by line the syntax of the program. If this program is syntactically correct, then the compilation will be positive and it will generate a bytecode. This is the compilation will be positive and it will generate a bytecode. Okay, and if the program is syntactically incorrect and there is some mistakes or errors, there are some mistakes in the syntax of the program, then what does this called? This is called negative compilation, and this will give us a error. This will give us a error. This is called compilation error. This is the process of Java compilation, where compiler checks the syntax of the Java program. If the program is syntactically correct, the bytecode gets generated by the compiler, and if the program has some mistakes, syntactical mistakes, then the compiler throws compilation error and bytecode will not be generated. So this is the first step which is gonna take place like after writing the program. So we will talk about what is bytecode then. Okay, because we have to understand each and everything here. We have, so I'll give you the point for what is the compiler. Okay, what is the compiler? Compiler is the developmental tool to check the correctness of the program. Okay, so this is the compiler. I think this will not be visible to you people. I will increase the font size here. Okay, I think this is visible now. This is the compiler. Compiler is the developmental tool to check the correctness of the program. Now we'll talk about what is bytecode. What is bytecode? Okay, so we have talked about compiler. Now we will talk about what is bytecode then. Okay, it is an this is an intermediate code. It is an intermediate, which is not a high level language nor a low level language. Okay, this is an intermediate. Obviously it means that this is not high level language, this is not a low level language. So bytecode is generated by whom? It's generated by compiler. It's generated by the compiler. And where it will go? Okay, so this source code is the input for the compiler and bytecode is the output of the compiler. Then to whom this will be the input? Bytecode is the input for JRE. Bytecode is the input for JRE. Bytecode is the input for JRE. JRE stands for Java Runtime Environment. System cannot understand the bytecode. Okay, this is the point which we have to keep in your mind. Only JRE can understand. This is an intermediate code which cannot be understood by the programmer fully. It can only be understood JRE, and we can also say bytecode is platform independent. Bytecode is platform independent. How it can run on any JRE. Any JRE means here is it can run on Windows JRE, it can run on Linux, it can on Mac. Okay, so bytecode is platform independent, but we can also add some point here, but it is JRE independent also. Okay, you can add that also, no need of adding here. It is a platform independent, it is JRE independent. Bytecode is common for all the different JREs. Okay, once the bytecode has been generated, like I have a programmer has written a program, and once the compilation has been done, that bytecode which has been generated from the compiler, it can pass on to any platform if that platform has JRE. So it is a platform independent and also JRE independent because it can run on any JRE of any platform. So what is the extension of that? As you can see clearly in the structure, in the diagram, that the dot class is the extension. Dot class is the extension of the bytecode. I will give this a different color so that it is clearly visible and it should go in your mind. So dot class is the extension of the bytecode, as you can check here. So compiler, we have come across compiler and bytecode. So I hope this diagram is very clear. Java compilation is very clear to each and everyone. First the source code is gonna it is the input for the compiler, then compiler check the syntax error. If the program is syntactically correct, then the compilation will be positive and bytecode will get generated. If the compilation gets negative, means syntactically incorrect, then it will throw a what we call compilation error. So this is the process, and we have understood what is bytecode. It is an intermediate code, not a high level language nor a low level language. It is generated by the compiler. Bytecode is the input for JRE. Bytecode is platform independent. It can run on any JRE, and it is also JRE independent because it can run on any JRE. Dot class is the extension for the bytecode. Now we will talk about what is JRE, because here it has come. So whatever points will come, I will discuss them step by step. So first we have seen this diagram, then these terms came, compiler, bytecode. We have understood those things here. Now we will talk about JRE. So before talking about JRE, we will talk about whole JDK, okay, which contains JRE. So we will talk about that. Let's go to that diagram and we will talk about the whole JDK. I'll make you very clear that you have understood it very clear. So this is the JDK. So all of you people, I think, okay, sorry, I will make you to install the JDK in the next video, like how can you do it, or I'll show you now itself after this explanation. So first of all, like to any platform you have to install the JDK. What does this JDK means? This means Java Development Kit. This is nothing but a Java Development Kit. This is a Java Development Kit. Okay, this is a Java Development Kit. So I'll give you the definition also. First of all, let me explain you this diagram. JDK contains JRE and some developmental tools, as for example Java compiler. We will not talk about these, we will talk about these later. Okay, so Java compiler, we have come across this, so I will tell you about this. This is a developmental tool, as we have seen in the definition. So JDK contains JRE as well as developmental tools. So developmental tools are used to develop a program and JRE is used to execute the program. And what does this JRE mean? Java Runtime Environment, and JVM means Java Virtual Machine. JVM is nothing but it is the specification for JRE. You cannot say JRE contains the JVM. No, this will be wrong. But this can be said in another way. JRE internally contains the implementation components of JVM. Okay, JVM is nothing but this is the specification for the JRE. For example, if anything has to be written, there are some rules, there are some specifications for that. That's how JVM is the specification for the JRE. On the basis of JVM, you cannot find JVM physically. It's not present physically. It's a virtual machine. From the like full form only, you can say Java virtual machine. It is a virtually present. It is virtually present. JRE is physically present. So JRE is nothing but it is the physical implementation of JVM. Okay. So now I'll give you the points on that. So this is the Java Development Kit, which is called JDK, Java Development Kit. Okay. Now it is a physical implementation. Okay. It is a physical implementation of a JVM. Okay. It is a physical implementation of JVM. I hope this is clear. This point is very clear. It is a physical implementation. JVM is just a specification for the JRE. Sorry, we are not talking about JRE now. We are talking about JDK. Sorry for that, guys. What is JDK? JDK is an SDK. SDK is nothing but software development kit. It is an Java SDK. You can also say Java SDK, which is used to develop as well as to execute Java programs or applications. Okay, it is a Java software development kit which is used to develop as well as execute Java applications or Java programs. So what does this JDK contains? JDK internally contains necessary resources like Java compiler and also JRE. That is, we can also say JDK internally contains JRE. Okay. What does this contains? It contains Java compiler and JRE. It contains JRE. So what is JRE now? We will talk about JRE now. JRE is nothing but Java Runtime Environment. Okay. So what is Java Runtime Environment? It is physical implementation of JVM. Okay. It is a physical implementation of JVM, and it is what is JRE? JRE is a physical implementation and it is platform dependent. As we have talked about compiler, Java, all those things are platform independent, but JRE is platform dependent. I'll give you the justification for that, but you have to keep this in your mind. This is platform independent. Okay, platform dependent. JRE of Linux is different from JRE of Windows. We can say JRE of Mac. So for all platforms, for different platforms, the JREs will be different. That's why JRE is called platform dependent. JRE can only understand what? The bytecode. Okay, it can only understand the bytecode. It does not understand the Java program. Okay, and JRE internally contains the Java libraries. It contains Java libraries and API, application programming interface. It contains this and also implementation components of JVM. So these are some points which you can note down for the JRE. Now we have one more thing which is should be clear. Okay, should be clear. So third is JVM, which is nothing but Java virtual machine. It is nothing but the specification, okay, for the JRE. On these specifications only JRE has been written. JRE contains libraries and APIs, and JDK contains JRE and Java compiler. So you have to give these definitions. If and this is the most important, okay, this is the important question for interview. You have to keep in your mind, important question for interview. You have to keep this in your mind. This is the important question. For sure, out of 10, this question will be asked for freshers. Okay, this is the important question for interview. What is JDK? What is JRE? What is JVM? This is, first of all, they may ask only one definition. What is JRE, JDK? First, then they will ask what is the difference. They may ask difference also. They may ask, okay, explain JDK. Then you have to explain everything, JRE, JVM, Java compiler. So this is how they will ask. Now for today I think this much is enough, and we will talk later about other topics which are like reference and how to create an object and some data types. So for now this is enough, and we will meet in the next class. Till that, bye bye, take care, all the best.